Hello and welcome to the CyberRisk TV live stream from Octane 2024 at Caesars Forum in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Mandy Logan, and today I'm joined by Shaun Nichols, who is a reporter for SC Media. Today we are talking about what you should have on your radar for day one of Octane. Shaun, welcome.
Yeah, no, it's great to be here. It's been good. It's been interesting process so far. But
Has it really? So you arrived yesterday.
Yeah, and registration was great. The Okta team was very, very helpful. I will say this to the audience: if you're going to a conference at Caesars Forum, it is behind Harrah's. It is not at Caesars Palace. Don't let my pain become your pain. But the team's been great. Okta's been great.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Because I will say, for those who are used to attending conferences, I really enjoyed the actual registration process on site. And I have enjoyed the amount of signage and staff and people that are available to direct and make this experience easier. I even got to take advantage of their accessibility team in the weeks prior to arrival. I myself am a part-time wheelchair user, and I do travel with a medical alert and mobility assistance service animal. And both the venue itself here at Caesars Forum, but also the care and attention and availability of the Octane team to help facilitate the ease of me being here has been wonderful. Mm-hmm. So my hope and dream is that it is the same experience for those who are just completely walking in and joining Octane, maybe for the first time. I think this is a wonderful first-time experience for a security conference.
Yeah, and I know this is actually one of the points that I really wanted to kind of emphasize and examine at this conference was the emphasis they're putting on inclusion and accessibility. And I know with you, there were a couple sessions also that you really were interested in that you wanted to check out.
Well, there was. I mean, today, let me double check the time. I think it's this afternoon. There is one at 2:20 that comes from the Octane Live news desk, and it's actually about unlocking centralized identity with the Trevor Project. And this I took as part of really supporting diversity and inclusion because it highlights how Octane partnered with a nonprofit called the Trevor Project, which has been around for a number of years now, and focuses on preventing suicide among LGBTQA+ community. And obviously, they are dealing with a lot of highly sensitive customer identification processes, and so I feel like that is such a valid and viable way to see how Octane really partnered with them, and in that way is using technology to enhance the life of individuals who are impacted, but making sure identity is safeguarded just as those individuals need to be safeguarded.
Yeah, no, and that's actually one of the themes of the show that really interested me was kind of the work they're doing to reach out and bring in marginalized communities and marginalized groups. I think that's something that's really been an emphasis of this show, and I think that's something that's really something to keep an eye on and going forward with Okta. Another thing that really caught my eye that I think is going to be an overarching theme of this show was kind of expanding the ecosystem, ecosphere, expanding the influence and the reach with Okta. They've talked about working with some like open identity management groups, talking about working with various SaaS vendors. They're really kind of expanding from just offering their specific service to kind of becoming a whole kind of ecosystem, kind of platform themselves for identity management across various vendors, across different partners.
Exactly, and I feel like it's incredibly exciting that either as a developer, as an administrator, or as an end user customer, being able to see that from the sessions available today, there are deep dives into the exact experiences that even large companies such as Netflix or USPS have had in integrating Okta into their complete security stack. And those sessions, like the one about USPS, is at 10:30 this morning. there's that part, and then the other ones that I find really interesting are that there are the sponsored sessions, such as at 11:15. There's the Zscaler and Okta deliver adaptive zero trust access to applications. So being able to see exactly what a partner is doing and how that synergy allows a prospective customer to adapt to using both technologies simultaneously. I feel like if I am tasked on the security team, if I'm a security practitioner, I am a CISO looking at it, I really want to understand how we can more quickly bring on complementary applications and other vendors.
No, and there was another session that caught my eye. I'm not sure if it's today or tomorrow. It's on the sessions calendar. That's on the website. You can find it there. There's a session with the U.S. Air Force.
Interesting.
That was interesting for me because obviously with the military, there's, security is going to be a top priority. You want to keep everything secure. But then everything I've heard from people who have been in the military is that the biggest headache is bureaucracy and logistics and how hard that is. So it's like anything
True.
that can simplify, some of these processes and some of these things, I think is going to be very, very useful for any military branch and the people who work within them. So that's what I'm interested to hear, is kind of hear both of those things.
I agree, and that drive towards simplicity elicits excitement in me about the news releases that came out this morning about new tools from Okta. Like, I believe for the first one, Auth for Gen AI. Being really able to focus in on things that help secure I'm going to say it feels like it becomes almost trillions of points where identity between AI agents, bots, all of the applications, all of the users, we are only seeing a system that goes toward needing identity on multiple millions of points, not just, here it is, I'm going to type in my password. And so seeing the news articles, did you notice anything else on the IPSI tool?
IPSI was interesting. The other one was Workforce Identity Cloud.
Okay.
That was interesting for me because it talks about unknown users, it talks about SaaS, and it talks about multi-factor authentication, which has been something I've been hearing a lot in my coverage, in my reporting. We actually had the National Cybersecurity Center in the UK. It's like the UK's equivalent of CISA. They actually came out and said to companies, MFA is not enough anymore. You can't just put in MFA and think you're good. You have to pick the right one, and you have to be able to manage it properly. And when you're working with multiple SaaS clients and services, that can be a huge, huge problem because you don't know how good their MFA is, their authentication. And you hear, now we hear about upstream attacks, we hear about ecosystem attacks, all these things. And so I think Okta addressing that is going to be huge. I think that's going to be a big product and a big platform for them going forward, is kind of taking some of that worry about whether the MFA is good enough, whether it's going to fail, whether you're going to have a data breach because one of your SaaS platforms didn't do the right thing with security. So I think that was really, for me, that's going to be kind of the big story. That's going to be what I'm going to really kind of want to emphasize and take a closer look at.
Well, and that has such a direct impact on the experience and the security of so many individuals globally. I mean, that for a company or for an individual, we thankfully see the rise of MFA and have seen it adopted, but we also see that, of course, as every other tool we develop, things change.
Yeah.
It always, and I appreciate with Okta that there are a number of sessions, even on the keynotes, that are about looking what's coming, what is the future, what are we already seeing in identity management, that let's go ahead and make sure the teams are starting to gear up and adjust. And kind of going, let's say, a callback to times past, there was a session today at 4:30 that we both had zeroed in on. It's called Back to the Future, the Re-Emergence of Device-Based Attacks.
Yeah, that one really caught, and I think because we're both like kind of security and hacking nerds, like,
Yes.
so like that was
Oh, yes,
definitely,
hardware hacking and everything we would rather.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's always fun, and I think and a lot of people, at this conference are going to share that. A lot of attendees are going to share that interest, and the fact that you can, go back to your employer and, justify that time spent by saying, no, this is going to have a real impact. This is going to be something that we need to reconsider and think about going forward. I think that's definitely a session to watch. Another one, because I think we both kind of attended this yesterday, and it's airing today, was the keynote last night.
Yes, I got to attend the keynote with Alex Honnold, who was the world's premier free solo climber. And it was amazing to see how we could take lessons he has learned from doing absolutely death-defying things. So free solo climbing is climbing sheer and sometimes even angled mountain faces with no tie-off, with no buddy, with no equipment actually assisting, just actually free climbing hand and foot. And his session, the keynote, one, I'm not going to spoil it because it is being aired today, and I highly recommend looking into that. There's also on Thursday, for those who are here in person at Octane, there is a screening at lunchtime of an unreleased documentary, which apparently was a shock to him because he thought Disney Plus would not allow us to have access. So if you're here on site, that's an exclusive event that could be attended. And related to that, in the expo hall.
Yes, we were just talking about this.
In the expo
So cool.
hall is a rock climbing wall. And if you choose to participate in that, then funds are given to the Honnold Foundation for bringing sustainable electrical power to areas of the world that have no electricity at this time.
Yeah.
I found this interesting as well, that for this event, Okta decided against any sort of swag. So even though there was a very simple, beautiful check-in process, unlike the majority of security conferences, we were not handed a backpack or water bottles or socks or Post-it notes or anything like that. Instead, the entire budget for what would have been used on swag went directly to the Honnold Foundation, also for enhancing the availability of electrical power in areas that have none.
Yeah, and I thought that's so cool because if you go to more than one conference a year, and as a reporter, I go to multiple, it's like you just don't want that stuff anymore. And yes, they donate it, but what kid wants a Oracle branded backpack to take to school? Like, it's just, no, it's just.
We don't.
We don't.
So I feel that for today, there is a wealth of information, technical information. Like, I've got to give a shout out to Brooke and the training department for the hands-on lab experiences. They are going on multiple times throughout the conference. There's an admin track and a developer track. Each track, when you enter the room, there are 3 options of areas, and you have product experts and the ability to literally walk through using the tools, learning the workflows. If it's developing, it's more of a developer-friendly environment. They spin up the VMs. They have everything there, so there's no prerequisites other than coming and being willing to try out and actually gain real-world experiences in the labs.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I think attendees don't always take advantage of things like that because they're very valuable. And it's also a nice break from sitting down in a chair and being talked to for 45 minutes. It's nice to be able to kind of get up and kind of get a hands-on and actually work with these tools rather than just hear somebody talk about how great they are.
Very true. And to me, it was exciting because it brings to mind experiences doing capture the flag events.
Yes.
There's an excitement and a thrill. And just like here, the on-site certifications that are offered, you can walk away going, I actually really achieved something that is, I can look at it and say it's done, where all of the other learning also elevates each individual.
Yeah.
But there is something great about the hands-on side.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Shaun, for joining us today. This was really fun, and I am excited for the day. I can't wait to hear back from you and what you get to attend as well.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you to our audience for tuning in to this live daily intro from Octane 2024. To find all of the CyberRisk TV coverage of this year's event, visit securityweekly.com/Octane.